Alright, long time no see. So, let's hope this actually becomes a full, depending on the team comp, and, oops,
Athena.
depending on the team comp, it's burnt chalky milk again. And how this goes down. Why do I have it just... Huh. I mean, Drunk Smite is a lot of fun, let's be honest here. I don't play Drunk Smite when I'm recording these, obviously, because I am trying to impart lessons that we all can learn, including myself. It's tequila. Tequila? I'm a whiskey man. That's not how you spell whiskey. The angry Mexican drink. At this point, I need some. Burnt chalky milk is a lot of fun. I don't even... Yeah, this is what it's all about. Just having a good time. In strawberry. I love fireballs. Come on. Fireball whiskey is delicious. Anywho, this is what Smite is about. This is just to the bottom. It's just about having a good time, you know? Playing well is nice and all, but it's about having that magical time. That's what gaming is about. It's so we can just sit back and take your mind off of things that's going on in your life, whatever it may be. If your job is stressful, or in my case, mind-numbingly dull, I need something that I can intellectually engage with. And games do that. Old school RuneScape is something I've been playing a lot of recently, and I just love that game to pieces. That's just amazing. I am not usually an MMO person either, but hashtag not sponsored. I feel like I have to say that. But I love old school RuneScape. I've only been playing it for about 2 weeks, but I am completely hooked. It's amazing. But I believe weren't we against Final Dark in the last match? I'm not really 100% sure. I'm not even paying attention to the enemy team comp here. Hold on a second. This episode got really real for a second there. They have decent enough team comp. No, it's nice and balanced. It'll be interesting to see how the Ymir builds. They do have... do they have enough self-heal to really make that worth it? Probably, actually. Because Cupid has the hearts, Pele self-heals with some nice lifesteal. Gilgamesh has lifesteal that he bestows with his jump attack. There's a pretty good chance Tiamat will be building lifesteal, because Tiamats almost always build lifesteal, because Tiamats are stupid awesome with lifesteal. But I don't think that they're going to have enough self-healing to merit the use of Tainted Steel, in all honesty. They are going to have enough auto attacks where Horrific Emblem will be useful. They do have a slight emphasis on physical damage. Captain Morgan, nice. Yeah, that sounds absolutely horrifically trash. This poor soul. They're too drunk. They're drunk on power. Alright, so this should be fairly interesting. There's been a lot of Ymirs. Actually, just more aggressive. I whiffed half of that. What the beans? Our team was very late to that, so there's no way we were getting that, but that's alright. That's alright. Yes, I can imagine you would be. The fact that they can still type coherently while drinking and playing is fairly impressive in and of itself, though. I feel like it's probably something I could do if I was drunk enough. Alright, let's see here. They really don't need me splitting that 12 ways. Okay, I'm glad I hit her, because if I didn't, I was going to go flying into the Cupid. That is not where I wanted to be at that time. Oh, this... Alright. Nope, that was fairly useless, but I have Sentinel skips, so that doesn't matter. How did you freeze the chalk way over there? Excuse me? I didn't think it had that kind of reach. My goodness. I just want to make sure Loki gets out fine. I'm kind of concerned about Loki. He's been drinking. He's been hitting the bottle. I love this Loki. Pele? Pele? Can we, I thought I had my treasure spear. What the? Come on, Ymir. What was that? I have no mana. That was a good wall by the Ymir. That was an awesome ult by Ra. We got first blood though, so that's more important. Oh, that's right. That's not our Cupid. I was mildly confused for a hot second there. Alright, so next we need shoes. And, let me see. Shoes, and then what are we gonna want here? Pestilence. And then... let me see. We're gonna go for the Ra. There's everyone over on this side. Oh wait, can we save Loki? No, we can't. Can we avenge Loki? Maybe. You... alright. That was a questionable ultimate, but okay. You don't want to be here, Pele. I don't want to be here now. Okay. Now let's see if I get out of here alive. I do, but barely. How did they kill... oh, never mind, everyone. Their brother was over here. Nice ult. Nice ult. Encourage the drunk guy. The drunk person, actually. Burnt chalky milk could be anything. I'm not going to make any assumptions on that one. Alright. Come here. Good wall. Good wall. I'm going to stay around just because I want to ult back in. So we're going to stick around for a little while longer. Just rejuvenate my mana through the MP5 and the passive bonus here. Always works out decently well. Just noticed Loki's message, Mom, they're bullying me. I sense an opportunity here. Yes, indeed. Ah, she ulted out. Well, that's her ult down at the very least, so not a bad trade. I feel like Loki's constantly in danger, honestly. Well. Yeah? I wasted my horrific curse. I had zero reason to use it there. I now need to go. Good life advice from Athena, Mom. Alright. Can we take Ymir here? No, I'm gonna just get frozen and just get harassed. Alright. Not a huge problem, though.
Yes.
This roleplay took a dark turn. Come on. There we go. I got that kill somehow. Okay, great. So happy for me. That was nice. No, let's bring this away from my allies. There we go. There we go. I'm just going to make sure no one dies to this. I wasted my taunt because I somehow whipped that. There we go. Excellent. That worked out quite well. Pele is chasing us down. Who is she going for? Who are you going for? What are you doing, Pele? No, I'm fine. I'm just trying to lure him in. And I have my ult too. Chalk is dead though. I gotta move fast. Here we go. Come on. I saved Loki, which is pretty spicy. Nope. Yeah? You want to mess with this? Come on, punk. Oh, no, I'm in trouble. I'm not in trouble. He came back up to me, which was definitely a mistake on his part. Alright. Oh, wait, no, I need to save my Raw. There we go. Good play, good play. Kill him, kill him, kill him. Thank you. This works, this works. Oh, no. Get her, Chuck. Oh, okay, I'm dead. Nope, yes. Okay, he timed that beautifully. He barely got me in time. That was pretty good, though. Kudos to him. We'll get cursed. No, that's a silly idea. We'll get Magic Shell. Alright, at this point, I want to build a little bit of damage in here because I can lock them down decently well. They don't seem to be that tanky. Gilgamesh is building a little tanky. I want to go into... I think we'll go into Mystical Mail, I think. Well, maybe I actually want the cooldowns from Breastplate of Valor here. I'm not really sure how we want to roll this. Can I save him? I cannot. Alright. Are you really? You are, okay. Come on, Pele. You don't have the guts for this, do you? Yeah, I'll just absorb all of those. Yeah. Oh, holy cow, they really wanted my boy Loki. Alright. Now what are you gonna do? You're gonna ult me. Alright, cool. Fair enough, fair enough. That's a historical reference. We're gonna go for the Breastplate of Valor, yeah. I think that's the best option. Okay. Let's see here. Can we sustain long enough on her to come back? Well, that was yes, there he is. Okay. Good. Someone on the other team got owned. Alright, so I'm going to push down right lane a little bit. We were able to save the Phoenix, which is pretty good. Let's see here. There we go. Uh-huh. Good. Let's see. No problem. What are you going for? I whiffed that completely. Nice. Okay.
Retreat. Think nothing of it.
Where are you going? You say follow me, but you make no indication of where you're actually going. Okay, here we go. Go ahead, Gilgamesh. Jump. Yeah? Do you regret everything, Gilgamesh? Okay, Chalk is gonna kill you. Oh, this is bad. Never mind, Chalk is not gonna kill you because of Chalk. Okay, what are you doing, Chalk? Oh, Loki picked him up. Alright. Oh, come on. I figured I would die. There was just nothing I could do about that. Alright. Now we're gonna gonna go with what? I do think Genji's Guard is my best option at this point in time. Get some cooldowns, get some magic protections, then I'll probably grab Spear the Magus. I think would be a really good pick. It'll help against Ymir's passive, which gives him damage mitigation when an enemy has been hit by his ability recently. It'll help with Tiamat's passive, which also gives her just damage mitigation. I think that would be the best option there. Maybe I'll build Divine Ruin to replace my shoes. Just a splash of damage, really. That'll also benefit the team. Which is the important thing, is that it does help the team out as well. But the only reason I don't want to build Whitestone is because the only person who would really help would be Ra and myself. It's just not enough of an impact for our team to really make that worthwhile. Alright, let's see what you got. You got no spine, alright. Alright. Yeah? Get slowed down. Come on. Yeah? Oh yeah, I see it. Okay. Just use that shell. Good, that's him down. That's him down. Good, good. She died. Alright, so we have... Oh, we can take them here. There's this easy take. Nope, you are not killing Shock. Get away from my boy. Alright, we need to take this left, the Phoenix. The Titan will be fine. We don't have the damage for this with just the two of us. What the heck is this? We don't have... Does he have no pen? Oh, I can't go there. He does not have that much penetration. He's got Jotuns, but that's about it. Just not enough for that situation. Which is fine. We're just gonna ult in on Shock for the speed and convenience of it. Oh, hello. This is interesting. Ah, I missed that. I'm gonna lure the tornado away. There we go. Make sure it doesn't hurt anyone else. Pele's ult is down. That's fairly impressive, actually. Good. Alright. We have an opportunity here, I think. Come on. There you go. Yes. Let me just get chain CC'd. It's fine. This is fine. Hey, why don't you both come over here? Don't look at the Loki. Forgot what his name was for a second there. That was nice. I gotta get out of here and ult back in. I think I have enough to... Yes. Here we go. We got Honor over there, so we could probably take this. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Headache. No, we need to retreat. We can't win this fight.
Yes, you are as wise as you are strong. Yes. Glory to Athens.
Go for it, go for it. I think we can take this. Maybe. I don't fear you, Cupid. Nice. We can take Cupid too. Oh, never mind. Loki's getting slapped. Frankly, so is Cupid. Goodbye. I can take Cupid, but I can't take both of you. I'm gonna have my ult pretty soon, so I can get out of here. I made it in time. Nice. I am accidentally killing way too many people this game, honestly. That's right. Predictable. Come on. Uh-oh. There we go. We did not take the Phoenix, but Gilgamesh was taken for me, so decent enough trade. Now we can... Well, was it really a decent enough trade? Hold on. What is Gilgamesh worth? Gilgamesh is worth nothing. Okay, that was not a good trade. Never mind. That was a worthless trade. I shouldn't have died. I should not have let myself die. Let me rephrase that. Let me see. Divine Ruin or Spear of the Magus. You know, I don't think they're healing enough to merit Divine Ruin, so I think we're going to just go for Spear of the Magus. Really help, unless somebody else already has Spear of the Magus. No. Athena, I am Athena. Oops. He's got it, but maybe I want backup for that. Does he have Divine Ruin? He does not. Alright, we might go for Divine Ruin. No, no, get out of the way!
Thanks.
Wait, did I not? There we go. Come back here, turd. You just self-ulted to save yourself. I am dead for this. Oh, no, I lived. Oh, I did not live yet. Oh. Take the Tiamat with me. Thank you. Alright. Good, alright. Man, this Loki is awesome. That was still worthy. Okay, so we gained nothing, but we lost nothing either. Basically, is what this comes down to. Well, we were able to maintain pressure on their Phoenix, actually, thinking about it. Our minions are right there. Obviously, they're pushing through. They're eliminating more of the... He did that too early. They're eliminating... Good. Come on, hit those autos. Come on. Oh, so close.
It is tiring, learning so many new things.
No, 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 no. Come on, Ra.
Unfortunate. Wherever there are gods in need.
There's my ult right there. I don't even show up. That's a shame. All right. Let's talk about this match, because that was actually a full-fledged match. No. Okay. So let's talk about this, because, I mean, I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention. I was having a blast there, but you're basically getting... You got 2 episodes today, so we're kind of... It's whatever at this point. Let's talk about this match. Alright, so... Both sides had very well-balanced compositions. We had one of each class, so there's no particular team comp questions to deal with. My build was okay. I was too aggressive at the end there. I got really arrogant. I whiffed a whole bunch of my relics. I absolutely bombed my relic accuracy. Well, at least my horrific emblem accuracy. I used that way more often than I needed to in situations that I had no reason to use them in most of the time. The Yonher's build was pretty good. Again, we have that weird combination of Executioner and Wind Demon, but, you know, that's whatever. It worked out really well for Anher. Keep in mind, though, that Anher's passive reduces enemy physical protection. Now, it's a reduction, reduces enemy physical protection by 20. So Anher naturally works better with Executioner than with Wind Demon, honestly. So, personally, when I play Anher, I really like Poisoned Star because it keeps the enemy locked into your obelisk for longer, because that's an extra slow you're attaching to that. But that's just a way I play Anher specifically. Personally, I would use Poison Star over Wind Demon. Again, personal preference. Personal preference. The Blood Forge was really nice. Now, normally I would say, well, maybe you want to build something like Aussie for the early game, but with On Her, Blood Forge is actually a better choice, even though Aussie gives you that attack speed. What On Her really wants is that extra power for the obelisk, because the obelisk, the sand around it, increases the percentage of damage that it increases On Her's damage output by a percentage. So attack speed is nice and all, but what you really want with On Her is that slapping power. And he'd already built Ninja Tabi, which, and you have to consider, for the difference between Ninja Tabi with a 25% attack speed and 20 power versus Warrior Tabi with 40 physical power and no attack speed, that's only a 20 power difference there, okay? The difference between Bloodforge and Aussie, I believe, is 50. I think that's a 50 power difference. Did anyone build Aussie? No. I believe Aussie provides 25. It might be 35, which would be a 40 power difference, but it's a much larger power difference between Bloodforge and the two different Tabis. So, really, that's what matters there. That's why Bloodforge is a better pickup than Aussie, even though Aussie gives attack speed, whereas Ninja Tabi is the better pickup for On Her, despite Warrior Tabi giving more power. That's why Bloodforge matters more than Warrior Tabi. And of course, crits makes that even higher, obviously. This was probably going to be Chin size, I would estimate, or possibly Aussie, maybe. I don't really know for sure. Could have been either one, both would have been really effective, given the situation. As for the Loki, you have... Okay, so, I was just getting distracted by the message. So, Manic and Hidden Blade is fairly interesting, but this is actually pretty effective with Loki because with his invisibility, he can get close enough to consistently hit this, whereas a lot of other assassins have to use a very predictable jump or something to actually trigger this, whereas Loki can be unpredictable with his invisibility. So, Loki uses Manic and Hidden Blade a lot more effective than a lot of other assassins. I do have an issue with it being up 20% of their current health. Mild issue, but at the beginning of a team fight, that's not going to matter much. Now, last full episode in Conquest, I talked about how Sundering Spear wasn't a great idea for Ymir because it wasn't supportive, and it doesn't really matter that much in a Conquest mode, and while it still doesn't matter in a team fight that much, for an individual assassin, especially in a mode like Clash or Arena, this actually can really help if you're coming up against a tank, because what assassins really want to do is pick out a target and kill them very quickly. Normally, as a result, they will go for the enemy hunter or mages. Hunters or mages. But Sundering Spear, whenever this is up, allows the assassin in question, this happens to be Loki, but this applies to all assassins, to be able to do this with a warrior, a tankier assassin, or the enemy guardian. Now, it's still very risky to build this, and I'm still not a huge fan of this, but I understand why Loki picked it, and keep in mind Loki was extremely ahead as well. So, this makes more sense in that context, but it was a riskier pickup here. But that's why it was built. It was built because Ymir, and probably Tiamat actually, I would say, because again, Tiamat has the capacity to slap on some damage mitigation through her passive whenever she's building up her scales there. So that makes it a little bit harder for assassins to kill her, because she does have a little bit of damage mitigation, and they have a harder time bursting her down. So this may have actually been built specifically to counteract the Tiamat, if I had to take a guess. And actually, this would probably be... I mean, the Ymir also has damage mitigation. Gilgamesh is pretty tough to take out. Relic Dagger was an interesting but pretty effective choice. Movement speed, cooldown reduction, which Loki doesn't mind having, and allows him to use that Sundering Spear more effectively against a team comp that really does require Sundering Spear for an assassin. Now, there were ways around this, obviously. I personally would have preferred to build Dominance. Now, he does have Heartseeker, which is pretty powerful as well, especially given the enemy team comp here, and was clearly going to be building some form of critical, probably Deathbringer, unless it was going to be the other one. I can't remember what its name is off the top of my head. The one that provides cooldown reduction? Maybe. The Transcendence obviously is so powerful in Loki because all of his abilities do damage, and it allows Loki to basically free cast and be as invisible as he wants, however often he wants. Jotun's Wrath for the cooldown, similar reason. And it overall, pretty good build, my only real issue here, and this might have been because Loki didn't care at this point, they were playing drunk, is instead of crit here, maybe more ability penetration. Titan's Bane might have been really effective here as an alternative because they were a bit more of a tankier comp. Tiamat is a tankier mage, which a lot of people forget. Again, primarily because of Tiamat's passive. The Shock played really well, built really well. The Gladiator's Shield, great initial pickup. This is fantastic. Goes right into Inslee. Great. Cooldown, some power, some magical protections, a nice silence for the Ymir or the Tiamat to prevent them from following up on their crowd control. Blackthorn. Now, personally, I understand why Blackthorn was built here. You get cooldown reduction if you have over a certain amount, you get mana back if you don't. But I don't really see Chalk as needing that much mana if you're building Chalk correctly, and Chalk wasn't being built bad here. It was an okay build. I think Sledge would have done Chalk more good here than Blackthorn, personally. Slightly more power, slightly less health, but protections would have been added. More protections would have been added, and I think that would have been more useful to Chalk in the given situation, especially since they had a lot of melee. Tiamat plays kind of 50% melee. Whenever she's on the ground, she plays closer than she does in the air. In the air, she's ranged. On the ground, she's close-ish. So I think the Sledge would have been a much better pickup here, because only Cupid was going to be consistently far away from you. And you were going to be able to lock down Ymir and Gilgamesh, and even to some extent Pele if she didn't have her magma run up. You could pin her down as well. Or her ult, of course. But then you can force her ult out of her, and that's just a free win for you. But I think the Sledge would have been a slightly better choice. Blackthorn Hammer isn't wrong. I just think, given the enemy team composition, the Sledge would have been slightly stronger for Chalk's survival. And then Mantle of Discord, which is just a great pickup. But extra 60 of each protection, a really handy passive, which, again, is unusually effective against this enemy comp, and some cooldown reduction. Again, my only real thing here is I do believe Chalk would have been better off with the Sledge. But that's just my opinion there. Now, Ra built Book of Thoth, which is a really interesting bold move in Clash. I do like this. The Conduit Gem is a fantastic pickup as well. That could have gone into the other one there. That increases your damage mitigation, increases your move speed. That makes Ra very tough to take out, especially if he's in his heal. You've got the Shoes of the Magi, which is fantastic on him. All of his abilities do damage, so he heals from everything again. Lotus Crown, which was a really interesting but very smart pickup here. The enemy team comp had a slight prevalence of physical damage, and of course with Ra's heal, Ra can effectively provide some extra protections to everyone, so this was a genius pickup here. Yes, there's a little bit of a sacrifice of power here, but I mean, considering how much tankier Ra becomes to most of the enemy team, especially since Ymir was obviously not really looking to be building damage in the first place, this is a fantastic pickup here. I'm really impressed. The Bancroft's Talon, just emphasizing more of that lifesteal. That's fantastic. Spirit the Magus, again, great move. I'm betting that Shoes of the Magi would have been sold and replaced with Typhon's Fang as a guess, because you've got Bancroft's and Spirit the Magus already. Spirit the Magus, incidentally, is also really amazing on Ra, because, again, all of his abilities do damage, so you're activating that passive on all of your abilities, especially your Blind, which normally a lot of people use as a last-ditch effort to get away from an enemy, or a desperation move to finish an enemy off. But with Spear the Magus, you can open with this, afflict as many enemies as possible with the Spear's passive, and then start blasting. It's underutilized, I think, on Ra. And it's fantastic, it's amazing. But yeah, if I had to take a guess, Who's the Magi was going to be placed on Typhon's Fang. Actually, I don't know if Spear the Magus is underutilized on Ra. Ra isn't picked that much because he doesn't have a consistent escape, so he's not picked quite as often as he used to be. So I don't really actually, in all honesty, I don't see him often enough to say whether or not Spear the Magus is used often enough on him. The past couple of Ras I've seen have either built, about 50% of the Ras I've seen have built this, but that might just be my own unfortunate experience. Maybe out in the world Ras are more generally building this. I don't know. Ymir's build was interesting. So, Warrior's Axe was built because we had a slight predominance of We had a slight predominance of physical, and again, this is more to justify a more aggressive Ymir, which in Clash is fine. If you're ahead, this was kind of a gamble, because if Ymir gets ahead in Clash with Warrior's Axe, that's fairly powerful. But this did not happen. So Ymir was now stuck. See, even if I was doing not great, and even then I still did fairly well, the Chalk did better than me, obviously, but, that's fine. Like I said, I made some stupid decisions at the end, and I badly utilized Horrific Emblem. I did absolutely trash with the Horrific Emblem. But the Ymir, I could recover because I had Sentinel's gift. I could recover just by chilling out and absorbing the assists from minions. I had options. As you could see in the early game, I could sustain my way back into fighting condition, and then from there be able to participate more, get some more experience just by leeching through Sentinel's gift. Ymir didn't have that option. Once Ymir started falling behind, Ymir had no option of really catching up, because Warrior's Axe wasn't going to help Ymir if Ymir couldn't farm. And farming is much harder in Clash than it is in Conquest, because everyone's all just right there in your face, basically, and there's only 2 lanes, and you're splitting experience and gold with a whole lot more people, and it's just harder to farm in Clash. And without Sentinel's gift, Ymir did not have a whole lot of farming options as their support. Choose a focus, doesn't really need explaining, it's great on Ymir. A little bit of cooldown, that's fine. Good magic power. Breastplate of Valor, good pickup. Sovereignty would have been good. For Ymir, I think also in the early game, especially this early, Emperor's Armor might have been a pretty good pickup. Breastplate of Valor is fine. I'm just offering some other suggestions that could have been equally as effective, depending on how the Ymir wanted to play. Considering how aggressive the Ymir clearly wanted to be with that Warrior's Axe, I think maybe Mystical Mail would have been a bit more effective, especially since the Ymir could very easily have locked down Loki and Ra, and with Loki on the field, Mystical Mail would allow Ymir to see where Loki is by the little damage numbers, so Ymir could have been able to freeze Loki out of invisibility and really been able to contribute to the team that way. So in this one situation, just because of Loki, maybe Mystical Mail would have been the better choice here. Breastplate of Valor is fine. Mystical Mail would have been really good to counter the Loki if Ymir felt that was needed. Now, Ymir did eventually build this very late in the game, but by that point it was too late to shut down the Loki. The Loki was already slapping pretty hard at that point anyways. So I think maybe building this at this point would have potentially been more useful. But I will shout out the Shogun's Kusari here. This was a really fantastic pickup. Not only can Ymir himself use this, but Pele can use this, because she gets some lifesteal on her auto attacks with her passive, and Cupid, as a hunter, obviously can use this. Gilgamesh can use this really effectively. In fact, the only member of the team who couldn't takes advantage of Shogun's Kusari would be Tiamat, because her autos are crap. This is a fantastic pickup, though. Ethereal Staff does confuse me a little bit. Now, this does do some decent damage. Obviously, pulling away maximum health from the enemy is, nice and all, but does Ymir really need that? Short answer is no. This should have been more protections, and I think this is really where the Ymir started to really struggle. I mean, the Ymir was already having a bit of a hard time farming anyways, because he did not build Sentinel's Gift. So keeping up level and experience and gold-wise was already going to be a little tougher for Ymir anyways. And I think, although Ethereal Staff is nice, I don't think our team composition justified that. Only Chalk and I really had what I would consider substantial amounts of health and potentially mana. I don't think that our team comp contributed to this. Now, if we had, I don't know, a mage or an assassin or a hunter that really wants extra health, a soul wants extra health because her little self-healing fire circle heals her based on her maximum health. Kronos has a self-heal he can use in his 2 that, again, relies on his maximum health. Those are 2 examples of mages that rely on their maximum health, but there are a couple of other ones out there, but E-Staff would have been much better against those. I just don't think our team composition necessarily contributed to E-Staff being the best choice here. Again, Mystical Mail would have been really nice here. More physical protections could have been really nice here. I'm trying to think of what else would have been really good. If you wanted damage, Polynomicon would have been better, because instead of increasing your max health, you would have had some options to heal yourself. You could even have built Telkine's Ring and tried to just slap people around with that. That wouldn't have been, considering our team composition, that would have been okay as well. I just think there are better damage options for what Ymir does and what our team comp was, and I just don't think E-Staff was the move. Again, Mystical Mail is great against our team comp. This should have been built probably a little bit earlier in my opinion, but again, that's just opinion. Tiamat's build, very standard, very strong, very effective. Except, I think Divine Ruin... No, I was going to say Divine Ruin might have been built too early, but looking at our team composition between Ra and Chalk, no, this was the move. This was the move. See, what you have to understand is Tiamat's escape is okay, but Tiamat is also... Tiamat's form changes whenever she uses her escape. So, sometimes you don't want to use your jump, which is what it is. It's a form of jump. Sometimes you don't want to use that because you want to stay in that form for a while longer, either for the damage mitigation or the power, depending on which form you are. So, Tiamat wouldn't necessarily want to use the escape ability to get out of Chalk's slow, so Divine Ruin makes a lot of sense because that would allow Tiamat to fight Chalk better in those situations where Tiamat did not want to use her escape. So this makes a lot more sense given that context. Soul Gem is, of course, great on Tiamat. That goes without saying. This is really also another way of trying to sustain and stay alive. The Chronos' Pendant was giving her the MP5 she needed, and great cooldowns. That's pretty fantastic. Spear of the Magus, also amazing on Tiamat. Just the whole build, except for Rod of Tahuti, again, personal issues. I think Tiamat should have built Obshard. I think our team comp justified the purchase of Obshard over Rod of Tahuti. Consider several things. First off, I'm tanky. Second off, Loki had mild tankiness in Relic Dagger and Mannequin Hidden Blade. 5 damage reduction isn't a huge amount, but it's a little bit. Chalk was obviously tanky. Ra was increasing our protections both with his heal and Lotus Crown. So I think, given the presence of Ra, myself, and Chalk, primarily, I think Obshard with its 20 to 30% magic pen would have been a better move than Rod of Tahuti, especially since, again, Rod of Tahuti only matters if you can get your targets below 50% health. With Ra and Chalk present on the field, that was going to be harder. Even with Divine Ruin, that was going to be a bit of a struggle. So I think Obshard would have been a better choice in this situation. And then sell the shoes and then maybe build Rod of Tahuti if you really wanted to. Maybe build Gem of Isolation. That would have locked down the Ra. That would have made Chalk's life a little bit more difficult. That would have absolutely upset Loki. Just a consideration. Pele. Now, Pele had an interesting time of this. Because Chalk, basically. It came down to the fact that Chalk could either force the Pele to use her lava movement speed increase to get away from him instead of initiating with it, or she could initiate with it and then hope that her allies were nearby to help her kill Chalk. Now, her build itself wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad build. She's got Soul Eater here, which is fantastic. The Crusher, that's a great item on her. Jotun's Wrath, also equally effective, very nice on her. Bloodforge, I do slightly question, but I think at this point she was desperate. Wanted the Bloodforge so she could get the assist, get the Blood Shield, and maybe press the attack. I think that was the idea here. Pardon me, I almost choked on my own saliva there. But I think ultimately the problem with this is that this wasn't going to be consistent enough. I think Pele would have been better off with Caduceus' shield. A little bit of power, a little bit of both protections, increases her self-heal, increases the heal of people around her, such as Cupid, such as Tiamat's Soul Gem. At that point, I think Caduceus' shield would have been a better pickup. Yes, she would have lost 40 power. That matters less for her abilities, which don't pull 100% of power for their scaling most of the time. But I think it would have kept her alive a little bit better. It also gave her health as well. Bloodforge is only useful if you can survive long enough to get that killer assist. No, it's a kill now. It's not even an assist. Never mind, you have to get the kill. And she was behind and was less likely to get the kill. So Bloodforge from behind is not the move. I would say definitely that Caduceus' shield would have been a far stronger pick in this situation, considering what I believe she was trying to do with Bloodforge. If she was just building this for the straight power, then Transcendence would have been a better pickup even than that late stage, or actually Heartseeker would have been a better pickup, even though it's 10 less power. There is some more physical penetration on there, and your abilities deal an extra percentage of health damage. So if she was looking for the power, Heartseeker would have been a better choice. But if she was looking for the defensive stat, which I believe she probably was, I think Caduceus' shield would have been better. Boomba's dagger, I don't know why she bothered building this. Now she was probably going for Boomba's hammer, in all honesty, which provides a mild self-heal, 5% of her maximum health, which again, Caduceus' shield would have been better for. It does some true damage. As well, I just don't think it's worth building in any mode except Conquest a lot of the time. I think she would have been better off with pretty much anything else that would have provided her with some penetration or maybe a splash more of protections. Berserker's Shield would have been a really good pickup here because we clearly had a lot of physical damage going on here. I was clearly not hitting hard. I was going to be building Divine Ruin to help with the enemy's healing even more, but that was about my only damage that I was going to be building here. So that was what I was going to be building, but I still wasn't going to be hitting that hard, so I think I can't speak. I think Berserker's Shield would have been a far stronger pickup here. A little bit more penetration, some good auto attack damage on there with the increased attack speed and the power, a little bit more physical protection, which combined with Caduceus' Shield would have been quite a decent amount of protections. I think that would have been the move. And then for Warrior Tabi, replace that with Anseli, just again a little bit more protections. She would have been able to balance it all out and been able to survive longer. That way she's less all or nothing. Now the Gilgamesh. Okay. The Gilgamesh also built Sundering Spear, which again, considering he was probably trying to play like Loki, I could normally understand, but Loki built the Sundering Spear immediately. First relic, no problem. Gilgamesh, second relic, no problem. Unless, of course, Loki switched this, which is possible, but not a whole lot of people do that. I would have to check over the video again, but I'm pretty sure that Gilgamesh took Sundering Spear second. And unlike Loki, who even if Loki built Sundering Spear second at level 12, Loki was well ahead by that point and could afford Sundering Spear as an aggressive option. Gilgamesh was behind by this point and could not. Basically, what this comes down to is the reason why it worked for Loki is Loki was ahead. Basically. That is how Loki got Sundering Spear to work. Gilgamesh was not ahead and was not going to be able to get Sundering Spear to work. Not as well. There are situations. Now, against our comp, it actually is a good pickup because you can take out Ra really quick, or Chalk, or myself, and then focus on the other one because we had a really good mess there. Chalk could have slapped some rain on Ra's heel, and then I could have taunted them into it even further, and then on her could have thrown up an obelisk. We had an unusually powerful combination of light and hard CC, and eliminating any one of us was going to be a tipping point in any fight. And Sundering Spear would have helped with that, but Gilgamesh was too far behind at the point this was built to make that work, really, is what it comes down to. Tainted Steel, good pickup here to start with. I understand this. This was actually a really good beginning choice between Ra, Chalk. Very likely we were going to be building Future. Lifesteal on her did. Loki did not, but that doesn't matter. This is a fine purchase. I understand this. This I agree with completely. Warrior Tabi, pretty standard. Winged Blade was an interesting first choice. Now, I understand that we have a lot of slows. There's Ra's slow with his blind, Chalk's rain, the obelisk from on her. I can't remember if Loki's abilities slow still. We've got my dash that can provide a slow. Winged Blade makes sense in that context, but I think Breastplate of Valor should have been built first. And even then, I disagree with Breastplate of Valor. I think probably a better pickup. No, I don't really actually. You know what would have been a better pickup would have been Contagion, actually. Which did they build? They did not. They built Pestilence later on. Okay, what I would say off the top of my head is Contagion where Winged Blade was, because that will get that anti-healing in there. We have 3 physicals compared to the 2 magics, so Contagion's physical protections would have been worth more than any amount of magic protections at that point. So you would have gotten that 60-ish physical protections with Contagion. You would have gotten some health with Contagion, which helps your first ability, your Sun Strikes, I believe they're called. I'm not 100% sure on that, don't sue me. So you also get a boost in that. So Contagion would have been the move. Your next item, Talisman of Energy, increases your move and attack speed, increases Cupid's attack speed if he's nearby, increases Pele's move and attack speed, increases Ymir's move and attack speed. Everyone, again, same thing with Shogun's Kusari. Everyone except Tiamat would have benefited from Talisman of Energy, would have given you magic protections, would have given you health. Talisman of Energy instead of Breastplate of Valor, because we would have built Contagion on Winged Blade, and then build Winged Blade where Pestilence is. Now you've got Contagion, now you've got Talisman of Energy, and you've got Winged Blade. In that order. That's fun. You could have built Winged Blade here as well as your 4th item, and then built Talisman of Energy afterwards. That's a matter of personal preference. But Talisman of Energy and Winged Blade after your physical protections would have been a better choice here. Void Shield is a good pickup. That's fine. That actually works really great with the team. We had 3 physicals, provides you with extra physical protection. You have 3 physicals. That reduction to our physical protections actually really helped your team. It's just this portion here. Like the beginning of the build and the end of the build, great. The middle of the build, magic protections should not have been first. This should have been physical protection, ideally Contagion. Then you build Winged Blade or Talisman of Energy, and then you build whichever one of those other 2 you didn't have. The Cupid I don't really have a whole lot to say about, because this is a very standard chin size build. You've got Transcendence for that power, which is great on Cupid. Bluestone Pendant now on Cupid. Again, I don't like Bluestone Pendant on Cupid. It only affects 2 of his abilities. I don't know why people build Bluestone Pendant on Cupid. I think it's badly overrated on Cupid. Build Death Soul or Gilded Arrow. Transcendence, Ninja Tabi. You've got Pure Power. You've got Jotun's Wrath for those cooldowns and that extra punch of power. You've got Shin Size to punch through us. And this was a great pickup, by the way. Again, we're a little tankier than normal. Ra is a little bit of a tankier mage. And, of course, myself and Shock. Loki had extra health from Relic Daggers, so Shin Size was going to hurt him a little bit more. Fantastic pickup. Executioner. Great. That's fantastic. Amazing. I think Executioner should have been in place of Jotun. Swap Jotun's Wrath and Executioner, I think, personally. I think you could have used the Executioner at this point earlier when we were starting to really rack up the protections, especially Ra here had Lotus Crown, Shock had Glad Shield, was probably working on Black Thorns. I at the very least had Sovereignty, which was helping out everyone else's protections. So I think in that particular aspect, I think Executioner should have been where Jotun's is, and Jotun's where Executioner was. But the Cupid still did fine. Basically, that's all I have to really say about this match. So if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. Thank you all very much for joining me. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, ideas, suggestions, what have you, please leave them down in the comment section below, and have a great 24 hours.